Today we're going to talk about how someone I knew moved to a different part of the country, which allowed her to get much better grades, which allowed her to get into Harvard. But before we explain that, we need to rewind the clock and explain how your environment affects your habits, your life, and your performance.
Did you know there's an invisible influence affecting all your decisions and habits in life? And it drastically impacts the level of success and performance you have in life. And guess what? Most people fail to actually tweak these dimensions properly. So this influence is your environment, and there's multiple layers to it. The first layer is your lifestyle environment. I used to live in a small town city, and I found that each time I go to a small town area from a big city, my exercise routines get better. When I lived in a small town area, I couldn't help but to go to the gym every day after work because there's nothing else to do, so I locked that into my routine and it became a daily habit. When in a larger city, there's plenty more festivals, food, and stuff to do that can distract you. Another layer is your circle of friends. So the people you hang around, even your acquaintances, even the room that you're in, that affects your state of mind, your beliefs, and your habits. So if you're around people who don't care about school, who are lazy, who immediately go play video games or goof off after school, you're probably not going to do well in school. It was only when I started hanging around people who did well in school that all their habits, their different mindsets and beliefs rubbed off on me. So what do I mean by that? Well, there's this one friend of mine, and when I hung around him, he would think about school differently. He would enthusiastically talk about how he would run home and knock out his homework and how he had to study for this test, and that's how he would get a leg up over the other classmates. And it changed my thinking completely because before that, I was fighting the urge to play video games after school, and I hung around people who would play video games after school, talk about video games. So it was a change that very much helped me out. The next layer is your city, your geographic environment. Now there's multiple layers, sub-layers underneath this. It includes the house you stay in. It includes the local areas that you visit with your friends, and it includes the school you go to, but it also can go higher to the city you're in, the region you're in. One example I have is someone I know who's got into Harvard, the #1 ranked school in the world, and she moved from a very competitive area to a much less competitive area. She moved from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area to Florida. And she admitted to me that she got in because the level of competition of students was much easier in Florida, which meant she was able to get straight A's much easier. Now, you may not be able to convince your family to move to a different state, but you may be able to choose different microenvironments where you study, whether that's a library or a study room, that can affect how many distractions you have and the mindset that you have. Hopefully this helps, and I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe.